Hey everyone, Sly47 here. Today I have a bunch of frequently asked questions that I'm going to be answering. I actually use ChatGPT to scroll through a bunch of questions on my channel's comments, and then of course I asked Discord as well. Make sure to join up. The Discord link is in the link tree down below, down there, if you want to join in on the fun. But I have a bunch of these questions. I actually haven't looked at them. I did have someone else look at them specifically, and then I asked ChatGPT to reorder them, and I'm looking at a file just at the top. Can't even see the first question yet, but I'm going to scroll down and we'll see, and I'll be most likely putting everything up actually over here. Sorry, I can't do it here today, but I do have the game up and running just in case we have a question that I need to illustrate and show off in game. But let's go over some frequently asked questions for World of Warships Blitz. And yeah, first question is, how to sell fucking shit? Really? Y'all are... I can't believe. God. How to sell boat is the first... Okay, next question. Let's talk about it. IFHE versus APCS versus APCS Plus versus IFHE Plus. All right, perfect. An actual question. Thank you very much, ChatGPT and or Discord. I don't know which one it was, but let's actually go over it. So, general just idea. APCS is just straight up better. Reason is that you get more max penetration, and your penetration power sustains longer throughout the flight of your shell. So from there, basically, you have actually, AP has a higher pen. So it makes sense that when you buff it by a percentage, you get a larger change in that buff comparatively to HE that tends to have only like 50, 60 points of pen. So changing it by 15% really doesn't change that much. But if we actually, let me go over to a commander that does change things up, which is like Horacio Nelson. He is IFHE plus. Now, when you start talking about a 22.5% increase instead of a 15% increase, you're now talking about something that's actually kind of worth it to use. Period. It just works better. So on certain ships, especially HMS battleships, IFHE plus is right there for you, and I would highly suggest it if you have a legendary commander. But in reality, when you go through the majority of ships in this game, there is realistically only about 10 that actively use IFHE at all. And even then, APCS is still a viable option sitting right there unless your ship legitimately just doesn't have AP on it. So overall, generally choose APCS or APCS Plus. That is your general idea. And then ask around for certain ships. I'll try to put a list up in the editing bay of all the ships that I know that IFHE or IFHE Plus should be chosen on over APCS. And you'll see it's a pretty short list overall. So, all right, let's go on to the next question.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
I'm blaming Blitz on this. When will submarines arrive? God, what? Why? What? Really? You're making me drink.
A few moments later.
3 questions and we already got 2 jokes. I can't wait to see where this goes from here on out. I swear you've poisoned ChatGPT crew. You have. Or you guys just ask this often. But when will submarines arrive? Let's actually take this as a serious question. This actually will require a considerable rewrite of the code base from what I know. So I highly doubt it. I highly doubt they're coming anytime soon. Easily a year plus, and that's definitely pushing it. What is the best way to dodge torpedoes? Actually, I do have a video on this, specifically on how to stay alive a little bit longer. Basically, embrace your fate, turn into them, because of course, you'll present a smaller target overall when you are running into them. There's very few times you actually want to turn out from them, but maybe you have advanced knowledge of them coming, so therefore you can do that. So embrace your fate most of the time, turn it in, else I will put up that video here so you can find it on the channel. Historical versus special camos. So I would say the historical versus special camos, it tends to lead that the historical is better. I'd say about 60 to 70% of the time. Generally, the historical is going to be better. You just have to look at it as, you know, what do you want to buff on that ship? I think one of the better ones right now is actually, you look at the Goliath. It has the camo in the shipyard. Do you really need a buff torpedo speed on Goliath? No, you don't. So the historical is just generally better on that one. So it's very particular on each ship, but definitely ask around. A lot of people do know this question for the particular ship. All right, next question. Promo codes, how do you enter them? So we go over to the game. We got to show the game right here. And we scroll down to the bottom. We see this little gear icon. Goes to other. You click on redeem code use. You type in that code and you hit receive and you should be able to receive that item. I do post up the codes in Discord down below. If not, you can get them from Facebook, you can get them from Instagram, everywhere else like that. They tend to generally blast them out. If you just go over here, redeem code, use, boom, and you'll be able to get exactly what you want from those codes, whatever they're giving out. So next question. This is we're knocking them out pretty quickly here. Next question is actually from Discord. How do you handle drift with the auto aim trick off? So basically, they're talking about the auto aim trick. If you haven't, you can go see the video over here. That trick overall, what you're going to do is you're going to actually just toggle the auto aim on and off. Generally use your left finger or left thumb to not control your ship. Maybe have it at a full turn already or something like that in order to keep on turning generally while you're doing this. But toggle the auto aim off and then use this thumb to aim and use this thumb to fire really quickly and then toggle it back on and then continue moving on in your day. The auto aim trick off is definitely on certain ships a little harder to do unless you are constantly managing all of the systems for your ship of movement, aiming, and firing all at once in a very fast manner. So the faster you can get at it, the better. It's going to take a little practice though. Next question. Best German Tier 10 BB. Ooh, okay, so we have 4. We have Schlieffen, GK, Mecklenburg, and Preußen. If I had to choose the best one, it'd be Preußen, definitely. Preußen's definitely right out there. I would argue Mecklenburg and GK are about the same. GK is a little bit better. Yeah, I generally say GK is a little bit better with Mecklenburg right below it. And then Schlieffen's down at the bottom. But that's not a bad position to be in either because Schlieffen's just a lot of fun. And there's certain games that, you know, I've done 180k in it and I've also done 20k in it. It's just a fun boat. Is it a good boat? Sometimes in games it just doesn't work out. It's kind of like the Zao. It's a little team dependent, not as team dependent as the Zao is because it can still do considerable amounts of damage, but you are just a powerhouse of damage in that. So generally it's a Preußen, GK, Mecklenburg, Schlieffen. Though Schlieffen, I would say out of all of them, is easily the most fun of them all because I love triple system ships. I do. It's an absolute blast. Next question. When will X-Line be released? So basically, whenever a new line is announced, so if you see, per se, the CIC website on their YouTube channel release any information about a ship, for a premium, it's generally CIC releases and within about a month and a half, generally, those ships are out by then. But for tech tree ships, basically, you want to wait for is the early access event. Once the early access event, that is a timer for basically around, I'd say about 2.5 months, and that new ship line is coming out. It's why the Xenon is probably, I want to say it's probably coming out pretty soon, but I don't have for sure dates, and I wonder if they're kind of waiting for the right holiday or something to put it out on. But so once you see the early access, generally look 2 months ahead, and that's about when they're gonna come out. Just because that early access will run, the time will end, and then from there it will be just about a month, 2 months. They'll come out within that time frame, depending on how many tech lines they are coming out at that exact time. So just kind of follow that general rule of thumb with the 2 months. That's when they're going to come out. So if you want to know, that's how it comes. Hopefully they keep up with that cadence. I don't know how many more they can do on that one, but When should I take auto aim off? Once again, I have a whole video for this. Generally, I say around 7 kilometers is pretty easy for most people. If you have better accuracy, you can push that further and further out. And depending on your ship, you can even go full out max range, especially if you have just lasers for guns per se, like the Petrovosk. That one I can shoot out at full max range with auto aim off and do some considerable amount of damage. Yeah, it's really up to the person on figuring out what that range is best for. Does angling help a ship survive? Actually, I did cover that in my kind of 101 series recently. Yes, it does, because of that duckbill fire shape that most ships have. You're generally, if you present a smaller target, most players are just going to generally fire. They're not going to ripple fire, which potentially puts their accuracy a little bit closer together. So whenever they generally just fire, they're going to have some shots miss on the side. So it does help you survive just a little longer. How would you buff Smolensk?
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No.
I'm blaming disease for this one. I'm blaming disease steak for this one. No, I'm not. I'm not. No. I'm not answering. I'm not. God, you guys. Yep. Oh man. Either ChatGPT is trolling me or Discord's trolling me. I don't know. Or the person I asked to screen these questions. Someone is trolling me. How to get more XP and silver? Boosters, basically. Boosters, and specifically respawn, I would say, is generally the best, because you're able to sit on potentially an average game of 60 to 80k worth of damage, even on bad games in respawn. That's one way to get a lot of XP and a lot of silver. Because in regular games, of course, if you just die early, you've lost one of your 2k boosters or something like that. Premiums obviously is another way to get more silver, where XP is generally you're just going to need boosters, or specifically playing your 2x or your 100%ers every day by resetting your wins and everything like that. But silver premiums are generally there, or your highest tier ship, because the higher you go, the more silver you generally get. Particularly around 8 kind of tends to be a sweet spot, because you'll get games quick, and generally you'll have a lot of players there. You can do pretty well in there, where if you go higher tier, you might run into some sweats occasionally and lose a bit of silver. Next question. How do I get more ship slots? So best way to do it for free is finishing missions. So whenever you finish missions, you'll actually get a mission crate, which actually, if I just go over here, let's pop this back up. Go over here, go over to missions. On here, you finish these missions at 1200, you'll actually get a ship slot with this ship right here as well. And then on top of it, during the 1500 crate, you'll get another one. So actually over time, you'll collect a bunch. I would highly suggest, with kind of an early first purchase of gold or something like that, maybe grab 4 or 5 just so you can. But at the exact same time, as you play these missions, you're gonna get more and more slots for basically free. So why not just wane on that and just get that over time? So just keep on working on 1 or 2 lines and don't keep too many ships. And then of course, purchasing premium ships will get you more ship slots and everything. So.